Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. We're going to be making a square slider tag with Graphic 45 Let's Get Artsy. So I'll be using one of their square tags. Then I used their die to cut a piece of pattern paper. From the ephemera assortment, I chose this little tag and I cut it in half. You're going to need a piece of clear plastic, transparency, and I chose this image from the paper collection. So start with, you're going to grab your tag base and your piece of pattern paper tag. I cut a piece of scrap paper with the same tag die because I wanted to make a little pocket. So I'm just going to turn my tag over, put some glue around the outer edges. And I cut several of these tags with Graphic 45's ATC tag die. And it'll just slide right in the pocket. So I'm going to set that aside. And I'm going to take my image and my transparency and these two little pull tabs. You could also cut a 1-inch circle and cut some about 1/4 off the end of each to make a little pull tab. I put some double-sided tape on the back. I add some glue. I'm going to put that right on top of the transparency. And I'm going to turn it over. Take the double-sided tape off of this side. I want to make sure these are lined up. And I just burnish down really good. So now it looks like that. Then I cut a piece of printer paper, 2 5/8 by 3 1/4, and I scored on the 2 5/8 side, 2/8 in. I did put score tape on this. And then I cut a piece of pattern paper. I cut it 3 1/4 by 6 3/8. And I scored on the 6 3/8 side. I scored at 1 1/2 and 4 1/8. Then in the center square, I cut a 1 3/4 by 2 1/2 window. And so I'm going to turn that over. I'm going to bend my little hinge with score tape down and match it right up to this score line. burnish down. So now your little paper should cover your little window. So then we're going to take our little image and we're going to cut a strip of cardstock at 1/4 inch wide by 2 3/8. I put score tape on the back of mine, not quite all the way to the end, about 2/8 from the end, each end. And I'm going to put it right on the very edge of my image, leaving a little hanging over on each side. Burnish down. So then I'm going to grab a permanent marker. I'm just going to trace some of the images. So then I'm going to grab my pattern paper. I'm going to put that piece of printer paper right in between these two images. So then when it slides out, you get the colored picture. Then I'm going to cut 2 really tiny pieces of foam tape. I'm going to put one on next to the score line on the pull tab side. On each side. Just going to put a little glue. Close up this side. Put a little glue on the top. Making sure my little image stops. So then I'm going to grab my tag again, and I cut a piece of 2.5 by 3 1/4 piece of chipboard. I'm going to add glue, and I'm going to center my little frame image on it. I'm going to put this about right here. So then I have a basket full of die cuts and ephemera. This frame's from the Tags and Frames collection. And then this is a graphic 45 die cut. I'm going to glue this right on top of my window. making sure my image still slides nicely. So now I'm just going to decorate it. You can find this tutorial for this one on Instagram.